Good morning, fourth grade. So today we are going to move on from the area model that we learned yesterday and the day Thursday. And we're going to start the standard algorithm today. Standard just means normal, regular. So this is the normal way, the standard way everyone solves multiplication problems. So parents should be happy about today's lesson because this is the way we learned it in school. So let's say I have a problem. 37 times 14. If you have your SmartPal or anything you can write with, I suggest you write with me. Maybe not this first time, but afterwards, because writing is going to help your brain remember. Instead of just listening, instead of just watching, if you write it down with me, you will remember and learn better. Okay, so I have 37 times 14. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my ones place, and I always go to this bottom number, like it's my anchor. I go back to this bottom number, the bottom number being the 14. But I start, remember, with Miss Davis's class with math, we start on the right with the smallest place value. And with Miss Conrad with reading, we start over here. But since we're in math, we're starting on the right, because that's our smallest place value. So I have 4, and I'm multiplying it by that 7. So I have to ask myself, well, what's 4 times 7? 28. So I put my 8 down here, just like if I were adding. I show I have 8 ones, but I have 2 tens, because 7 times 4 gives me 28. So I put my 2 in my tens place and my 8 in my ones place. Okay, next I have to say, well, what's 4 times 3? 4 times 3 is 12. And then 12 plus 2, this 2 that I carried over, because we always add this part. So we have 4 times 3, which gave us 12, and we have to add our 2, which gives us 14. Drop it down there. Okay, so I multiplied everything by the 4. I multiplied 4 times 7 and got 28 right there. And it looked like 4 times 3, but it was really 4 times 30 plus that 20, and that's where that 140 came from. So this is matching area model. It's just like a shortcut. I don't understand how the place value works, but I can do the math. Okay. So next I'm going to go to my 10, or my 1, which is what it looks like. So I have to do, okay, well, can't do that yet, because since this is a 10, I have to show that I'm in my tens place now by bringing down a 0. Because I'm no longer multiplying by a 1, okay? I'm not in my ones place. I'm not talking 4 ones. I'm talking a whole 10. So I have to put a 0 there to hold my place value. Now that my 0 is there, I can do, well, what's 1 times 7? 7. But since this is actually a 10, I'm saying, well, what's 10 times 7? And it would be 70. That's why we put that 0 there. When I was in school, no one explained to me why I put the 0 there. I just knew I put down a 0, and then it went on forever. Okay, so next I need to do, well, what's 1 times 3? 3. But since I'm actually talking, this is actually a 10, this is actually a 30. 10 times 30 would actually give me 300, which is why I put a 3 in the hundreds place right here. So it matches, but it's not as clear to see. That's why this is the second math that we learn. First, we understand it using the area model. All right, so now we just need to add it up. 8 plus 0, 8, because anything plus 0 equals itself. 4 plus 7 is 11, and 1 and 1 make 2, and 2 and 3 make 5. So my answer is 518. So 37 times 14 equals 518. Now, quickly, and just on this first one, off to the side over here, I'm going to show you area model, the model we worked on yesterday. This the way to do the math. We're going to see how it matches up. So I'm going to go ahead and make my window. And I have 30 and 7 for my 37. Then over here, I have 10 and 4 for my 14. Don't like it sloppy. Okay, so now I just need to fill in my blanks. So I'm going to use my 4 first, just like I used my 4 first over here, just because I don't have to when I do this model, but I want to see how it matches up. So I'm going to do my 4 times my 7, and my 4 times my 7 gave me 28. And then I'm going to do my 4 times my 30. Well, I don't know 4 times 30, but I know 4 times 3 gives me 12. And since we're talking a tens place, I put it to show I'm in my tens. So 4 times 30 gives me 120. Next, I'm going to go ahead and move to my 10, which is right over here on the area model. 10 times 7 gives me 70. And 10 times 30, 10 times 3 would be 30. So 10 times 30, I need to show my 0, my place value, so that would be 300. So I have my 370 just like I have it down here. And if I add 120 and 28, I have 148 just like I do here. Here the pieces are clear. They can kind of make sense. Here is the quickest way to do it, but there's not true understanding with this method the way there is with this method. So once you have your numbers, you're going to line them up by place value, greatest to smallest. So I lined up my 4 numbers, and now I add 8 plus a bunch of zeros equals 8. 2 plus 7 is 9. 9 plus 2 is 11. 1 and 3 make 4, and 4 and 1 make 5. So my answer, no matter which method I use, is going to be correct. This is the faster way. This is the way I actually prefer, because I have fun with math, so I like this method. But if I'm just checking my math real quick, I do this way. Today's lesson is we're going to learn this way because this is how your middle school teachers will want you to do math. So we will practice this way. But when it comes to the actual test, I don't care which method you use as long as you show your work and as long as you understand both methods. So now, because I understand, you can understand both, but you will probably have one that you prefer. And it might not be the one that your friend prefers. It might not be the one that your family prefers. Or it might be. So now we're going to do an example together. So on this next one, I need you to find something to write with. And on piece of paper, pencil, marker, crayon, whatever. So pause the video for a second so you can go get what you need, something to write with. Because we're going to do this one together. Okay, so you should have paused the video if you needed to. And now we're going to get started. So we're going to start with another 2-digit number. All we're going to work on today is 2-digit by 2-digit. So let's say we have 46. And we're multiplying it by 37. Okay. We're going to use the way that our parents learned math today. The standard way. We're not going to do the area model. If you want to do area model to check your work, that's great. But we're going to have to learn this method today. So, what's my first step? And I'm going to sound like I'm talking to myself because this is how I teach in class. Whenever I pause, it's so you can think. And some of you will require a longer pause than others, just like in class. So just be patient. So first, I'm going to go to my 7 because it's in my ones place and it's at the bottom. This is my anchor. And I use these digits down here and I multiply them by the digits up there. So I'm going to start with my 7. I'm going to go 7 times 6. What's 7 times 6? 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. So I put my 2 and I carry my 4. And next, I'm going to say, okay, I did my 7 times 6. Now what's 7 times 4? 7, 14, 21, 28. So I have 28 in my mind, but I still need to add this 4 up here that I regrouped. So 28 plus 4 gives me 32. So I put my 32 there. Next, I'm going to go to my next place because I used up my 7. I multiplied it by everything. Now I'm going to go to my 3 or my tens place. So to show that I'm in my tens place, what needs to go right here? Dropped my marker. To show my tens place, I need to put a 0 right there to show that I'm in my tens place now. And now I can multiply 3 times 6. Gives me 18, so I put my 8 and I carry my 1. 3 times 4 is 12, and 12 plus that 1 gives me 13. So I have to put my 3 and my 1 to make 13. Now that I have that done, I can add them up. Sorry for the noise from my markers. Now I can add them up. 2 plus 0 gives me 2. 2 plus 8 gives me 10. 1 plus 3 is 4. And 4 plus 3 is 7. And 1 plus nothing gives me 1. And I always box or circle my answer so that it's easy to find amidst all of the work that I show. Okay. Remember to always bring down the 0. If you don't, your answer will be completely wrong because all of your numbers will be shifted over. Okay, let's do another one. This time, let's do 68 times 92. Okay, this is the first problem on your assignment for today. So on schoolwork, you're going to have a multiplication page that has, let me see, 5, 6, 7, 10 multiplication practice problems, 2-digit by 2-digit. So just like this, just going to follow the same steps. And this is the first one. So if you want to copy this down on paper, then when you can go to your schoolwork assignment, you can copy it down so you have this example to look at on your paper. Okay, so this time I shall use pink and blue. I'm going to start with my bottom in my ones place because that is my starting point every time. I just land right there. My eyes don't even look at the other numbers because after you've done this math for so long, you don't even think about it. You know to start right here. So just start right there. So I need to do 2 times 8. That's 2 times 8. You should know your 2's like this. If you're struggling with this part, that was the whole conversation I had with everyone about how we need to know our multiplication facts, because if we don't know our multiplication facts, we can't do the harder math. It takes us too long, especially if we don't have our multiplication chart with us. So I need to do 2 times 8, which is 16. So I put my 6 and I carry my 1. Next, I'm going to do 2 times 6. 2 times 6 is 12. And 12 plus 1 gives me 13. So I put my 13 there. Next, I'm going to go to my 9, but it's not actually a 9. It looks like a 9, but technically it's a 90. I'm in my tens place. So to show I'm in my tens place, what goes right here? If you said a 0, you are correct. Holding my place value. So now I can multiply by 9. 9 times 8. Well, I love my 9s because I know my little 9 trick. 9 times 1, 9 times 2. Okay, so 9 times 1 gives me 9 1s. 9 times 2, there's 1 10 and 8 1s because 9 times 2 is 18. 9 times 3, 2 10s, 7 1s equals 27. So if you don't know this finger trick, it's a good trick for a quick refresher, but if I do 9 times 8, I go to my 8th digit, which is this. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in my tens place and 2 in my ones place. So I have 72. So 9 times 8 is 72. Put my 2, carry my 7. If you don't know the finger trick and a family member does, go ahead and pause the video so you can learn it. It's a good trick just to always know your nines. Okay, so back to this. 9 times 8 gave me 72. I put my 2 and I carried my 7. Now I need to do 9 times 6. 9 times 6 is 54. And 54 plus 7 is 61. So put my 61 there. And I'm going to add them up. So I have 6 plus 0, which gives me 6. 3 plus 2 gives me 5. 1 plus 1 gives me 2. And 6 plus nothing gives me 6. So 68 times 92 equals 6,256. Okay, so that was the first one on your math page. And we will actually do one more together, just because I want you to be comfortable with this. Let me see if there's any funny ones on here. Let's do letter G together. Whenever you open your schoolwork assignment, you're going to see this one's letter G if you want to write that down so you can remember and you can copy it down on your assignment. So for letter G, I have 80 times 80. Interesting. So even though there's zeros, I'm going to start like I normally do. What's 0 times 0? 0. What's 0 times 8? 0. 0 is an all-powerful number when you want to multiply it because it wins at everything. So I need to show that there's a 0 in my tens place. Now I need to do 8 times 0. Still 0. Now I have something to actually think about. Now I have to do 8 times 8, which is a hard fact. 8 times 8 is one of the hardest facts. The 8s are very difficult, the 7s are very difficult, the 6s are very difficult. But 8 times 8 gives me 64. So now I just need to add them up. So 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 4 plus this invisible 0 right here gives me 4. And 6 plus this invisible 0 right there gives me 6. So 80 times 80 equals 6,400. Another way to look at this is when we did like area model, and if we had big numbers, if you remember me telling you, 8 and 8 makes 64. And then how many zeros do you need to bring over? 2. So you have 6,400. Okay, so that one was letter G. Whenever you multiply by 0, anything times 0 is 0. So don't let the zeros confuse you. I'll be around. If you have any questions, message me. If you need any help, send me a message. And good luck. I'll be checking your work. Make sure your assignments are done. Progress reports, I believe, go home. But there will be finalized progress reports on October 8th, which is pretty sure Thursday. So make sure your assignments are turned in. Check live grades for your assignments. If you have any missing work, message me and we can talk about it, because the first bit of this year has been crazy for everyone. Okay? So good luck. Let me know if you need anything.